Arizona Cardinal fans are currently at a crossroads. Yes, the Cardinals are starting off the 2025 season with a 2-0 start, but there definitely seems to be a lot of concern among the Arizona Cardinals offense. Is this what we expected the Arizona Cardinals offense to look like? Unpolished, undisciplined, and not very consistent heading into year 3 of Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray? Let's dive into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals offensive woes that we've been seeing so far in the 2025 season. And this is the biggest topic of concern for Cardinals fans heading into week 3 versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Cardinals are starting off 2-0. Now, I don't want to take anything away from them. It's very hard to win games in the NFL, so we will take those wins as they come. And if this was any other year, the Cardinals would probably lose one or two of these games. But with what we are seeing from this Cardinals offense is the lack of being able to put your foot on an opponent's throat and run away with the game, right? We allow too much conservative play calls, really bad, decision making, big momentum swinging things that happen that completely take away our momentum, right? There's so many different factors that happen as to what we've been seeing in week 1 versus the Saints and week 2 versus the Carolina Panthers, which at the end of the day, we could never have seemed to beat the Carolina Panthers heading into this game. In week 2, we were 1-7 against the Carolina Panthers since 2015, including our playoff game versus them as well. Now we are 2-7. So I guess we'll take that as it comes. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a big topic amongst a lot of Cardinal fans right now. People are pointing the finger at Drew Petzing, saying, "Hey, your offensive scheme is not good," or some people are saying, "Hey, Kyler Murray needs to go." I'm in the camp of I think there's a lot of blame to go around amongst everybody, right? And I've been on that stance for what probably feels like years, but realistically, it's probably been over a year now where I'm really preaching the idea that I don't truly believe this is fully on Drew. I don't fully believe this is truly on Kyler Murray. I still don't understand why we're sitting right now into year 3, which is a year that most teams make a big playoff push or take that next step to really find out what type of team you're going to be, right? Now, we've been hearing the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a run heavy team. And last year, we were a very good, dominating, run heavy team with James Conner. But the last 2 games that we've been seeing very mediocre type of running, right, from the Arizona Cardinals offense. Now, Kyler Murray had a really good run in this last game. Trey Benson had a really good run in week 1. So the numbers might kind of be a little skewed as to, when you're doing an average as to what the Arizona Cardinals are averaging, per run. But like the run has not looked very good. The passing game has looked pretty similar to what we've been seeing for years now with Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray. And obviously right now we're all kind of sitting back and saying, well, what is going to be the real reason as to what's happening here with the Arizona Cardinals offense, right? Now, a quick shout out here to Sleeper, sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. More on them a little later on. But this is the big question, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get you guys as involved as you can here in the chat. What do you think is truly the problem? Now, like I said, I think there's a lot of blame to go around amongst everybody in this organization. That's including Kyler. That's including Drew Petzing. That's including Monty Ossenfort, general manager of the Arizona Cardinals. I still do not understand why the philosophy or the mindset of Monty Ossenfort was in the draft and in free agency saying to himself, "Oh, we're going to run it back with the same guys." Why? I do not get it. I don't understand it. Now, if you didn't want to spend big money on a top tier wide receiver, okay, I get it, right? But there was plenty of opportunities in the draft for you to get a wide receiver in the first round. Now, the second round, I love the Will Johnson pick, but in the other rounds as well, 4th rounder, 5th round, and then the other rounds that we got in the late round picks. I like the picks that the Arizona Cardinals got, but there should have been a pick allocated to a wide receiver. We are still struggling with getting these wide receivers open And I'm not sure if it's due to separation, or I'm not sure if it's due to Kyler Murray, right? Or I'm not even sure if it's due to scheme. Right now, multiple people are pointing the finger in every single direction in terms of what their opinion is. And I think everybody's got a true right to their opinion. And I think they are right in a sense, because when you're looking back at the film, Drew Petzing has got a lot of flaws. He really does. He's a first time offensive coordinator. And when he came in, he preached, we're going to be a run heavy team. And it worked for the first 2 years. This year three, now granted, we have a small sample size, right? It's only been 2 games. It does not look great, right? And then now it seems like the defenses that we're going against in 2025, all they're saying to themselves is, we got to stop the run. We stop the run, we got a real good chance to beat this Arizona Cardinal team. And that's what it seems like is happening. We should have beat the Saints by leaps and bounds, right? We should have beat the Panthers by leaps and bounds. Now, here's the thing. We were beating the Panthers by a lot. It was at one point 27 to like 9, right? And what happened? The conservative play calls on both sides of the ball. Defensively, we're playing a little bit more of kind of softer. We were allowing them to get everything they can in the up the middle, right? That's what we were doing. And then the offense really couldn't do anything in the second half, primarily that fourth quarter. And then let's all realize that interception that Kyler Murray ended up throwing was really, really not a good decision. He held onto the ball too long. And this sucks because this comes after a great play from Kyler Murray, right? And honestly, that interception takes away what we all felt literally 2 plays before, right? That literally takes, and here's the reason why. That's the stigma on Kyler Murray. If this was one thing where Kyler Murray just did this maybe once every, year, or once every, month, I don't think people would be talking about this very much. But because Kyler Murray has had a stigma on him as to all you got to do is pressure him, right? Rattle his cage and he will make mistakes. And Kyler Murray threw another interception when he was rattled, right? He did not make a really good decision, or maybe held onto the ball a little too long when he should have got rid of the ball when nobody was open, right? Now, I want to do a full dissect as to where there actually were players open in that play. The All-22 film has not been released yet, but this kind of goes to show that already Monty Ossenfort's got some blame to this, right? Drew Petzing, right? Let's talk about him a little bit, right? Because honestly, when it comes down to Drew Petzing, I protected with what I'm not going to say I protected him at all costs last year, but I was one of those guys that said, hey, this run offense is one of the best, right? This one of the best in the NFL. You got to give him credit to where credit's due, because I was expecting evolving of an offense that we're going to be seeing something different this year. Within 2 games, this is not it, ladies, and this is not it at all. Kyler Murray, and during the Panthers game, was 17 for 25, 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kyler Murray in last week's game versus the Saints, he was 21 for 29, 163 yards, 2 interceptions, right? So it doesn't seem bad on paper, right? Especially when you're saying to yourself, oh, well, we're a run heavy offense, right? But look at the run games from James Conner. He had back-to-back mediocre games, like not good games at all when it comes down to it. And if we're leaning very heavily on this Arizona Cardinals run game to kind of help us win a lot of games, well, that's amazing if it truly works. Trey Benson was the leading rusher here in the Saints game, and that's because he had a crazy run. I believe it was 40 plus. Heck, maybe it might even be a 50 plus yarder, right? So he had a lot of yards on one specific play. And then James Conner with the Panthers game, 11 for 34 yards, and then James Conner 12 carries for sub 40 yards. So James Conner has not looked very, very good, unfortunately. And I'm not sure if it's a direct, reflection of him. I still do think he's a really good running back, right? And it might be based off opportunity, because we're not converting those third downs. We're having less plays for the Arizona Cardinals to, make more plays, right? You got to convert those third downs. You get more plays that way. But here's when it all comes down to it. Drew Petzing, one thing that I strongly do dislike is that he does play very conservative when the Arizona Cardinals have the lead. Now, here's the big question. I might have mentioned this before in a live podcast, that this is a real topic of concern now. Are they doing this approach, the conservative approach, to not have Kyler Murray make mistakes? Like, do they truly trust him? Like, we hear it, right? We hear the lip service. Oh, yeah, we believe in him. We do this. We believe in him, right? But are they playing conservative because they feel like something is going to eventually come out and Kyler Murray is going to make some sort of mistake that can completely change momentum? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had the answer. I wish we heard a little bit more transparency from this, coaching staff. But as of right now, they are continuing to roll with JG saying that it's completely 110% on him, which that's fine, right? I love that the coaching staff has all the accountability in the world, but at the end of the day, we need to figure out how to get this better. And here's the thing. Do I have confidence that the Arizona Cardinals is going to get this better? Well, I mean, I've been talking about this from last year, and they still haven't gotten it better. So I don't know. I want to have the confidence that I'm going to say that, Drew Petzing is finally going to get it right, or Kyler Murray is not going to throw a boneheaded, interception. I wish I was in that stance to say, oh, yeah, I think we're going to be fine. But I truly do not know. Now, this next week versus the 49ers, it's going to be one of the biggest and probably the first test we're going to see. How are we going to compete against a team that's not a quote unquote, I'm not going to say bottom dweller, but these are teams in the Panthers and the Saints that are projected to be not good this year. They both are starting off 0-2. Now, obviously, I'm happy that we're 2-0. The alternative would be 1-1 or 0-2, right? I'm happy about the 2-0 start. I truly am. But this is something that needs to be fixed, and needs to be fixed very, very quickly. If you go against a team like the 49ers or the Seahawks that have had our number during the Geno Smith era. Now, yes, Geno Smith is not there anymore, but the Seahawks as a whole has been beating us, has been sweeping us for years. These next two games are going to be crucial. If they do not figure out what this offensive miscommunication between Kyler and Marvin, which is still there, and I'm not going to come out here and say it's all Kyler. No, Marvin Harrison Jr. should have caught a couple of those balls that were thrown to him. Absolutely 110%. Marvin needs to get better. Kyler needs to get better. Drew Petzing needs to get better. And also, my eyes are on Monty Austin-Ford as well. You put this roster together and you said, I am confident. We are going to run it back again with the same guys we have, and it's going to be fine. No, we're averaging at least two or three receivers a game with one reception each game. That's not good. That's not going to cut it. You cannot have your second wide receiver and Michael Wilson have one reception. You cannot have your third wide receiver and Zay Jones or Greg Dortch having one reception. No, that is not okay. That is not good. We need to fix this, whether it's through a trade or really consider bringing in somebody, I'm not going to say off the streets, but maybe a free agent, right? But that's the thing. There's not very many people out there anymore. We were all preaching to get Keenan Allen, and they didn't do it. The Cardinals didn't do it. So I'm trying to avoid the same narrative. I'm trying to avoid the same excuses happening every single year. Well, it's the OC, it's the wide receivers, it's the O-line, which, let's be real, the O-line has not been very good, right? They haven't, especially on that right side. So I'm trying to avoid all these things, and I was really hoping Monty Austin-Ford was going to be able to get all these questions answered, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it. So all the blame is going all around this Cardinals organization. Now, like I said, a big test coming our way here in week 3 versus the San Francisco 49ers. I just hope that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to pull off the W. Let me give a shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. Sleeper. Looking for a brand new app to go ahead and have a lot of fun on Sundays, Mondays, as well as Thursdays. Make sure you check out Sleeper. They have a really good game on there, the hires and lowers, where you can potentially make the best roster you can to 100 times your money. Check out Sleeper using promo code AZSF. Provide you with a 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first initial deposit. Check out Sleeper. Everything will be in the description below. All right, everybody, what are your initial thoughts? Who do you think the blame goes around to when it comes down to the Arizona Cardinal offense? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.